Hi everyone, welcome to today's Mountainside chat. So, Mountainside chats are a weekly program that we had going this past semester and throughout the summer, where we connected with either different campus departments or now with student organizations just to, get their information out there, providing you with those resources and things that the different departments or organizations are able to provide for students. So, today we'll be speaking with the American Institute of Graphic Arts at UTEP. So once they request to join us, we will go ahead and get started. So throughout the session, if y'all have any questions, you can either leave them down there in the comment feature and they'll pop up on our feed, or you can also utilize the little question feature, that's the square with the question mark inside of it, and we can address those questions. All right, they just requested, so we'll go ahead and let them in and then we can get started.
Hi.
Hi.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for having us today.
Yeah, of course. We're so excited to get to speak with you, um, and hopefully get you all some new members by the end of it.
Yeah, hopefully. I know recruiting has been a little bit challenging because everything's virtual, but this is really cool that you guys are doing this to try to get more people engaged.
Trying to
Um,
keep up with the times.
yeah, definitely. We have to do what we can.
hmm
Well, to start off, my name is Brianna. I'm the president of AIJ UTEP. So for those of you who don't know, AIJ stands for American Institute of Graphic Arts. And it is a national organization. There are more than 70 chapters across the US, including a local chapter here in El Paso, and we actually work very closely with them. But as a student chapter, we aim to provide professional development and networking opportunities for students interested in design. So most of our members are graphic design members, but graphic design majors, I'm sorry. But the organization is open to anyone that's interested in design or any kind of art, really. So the chapter is fairly new at UTEP. I think it's been around for about 2 years, so it's fairly new. But there are other student chapters across Texas. There are some in Austin. I know that UT Arlington has a student chapter. So we're really trying to build it up. So in the past, we've done events like tours of local design studios. We've done a few networking events along with advertising agencies. And then we've also just had opportunities for students to showcase their work. So at the Foxvine Arts Building at UTEP, there's a glass gallery. So we usually have an annual exhibition where students are allowed to enter their work and showcase it. So unfortunately, we won't be doing that this year because of the circumstances. But we do have a few upcoming opportunities for any students that want to showcase their work. Another annual event we have is called Design Graveyard. So we usually have it around Halloween or Dia de los Muertos. And it's basically where people can submit any design work that they have that's been rejected or anything that really hasn't kind of seen the light of day. So it's kind of cute. It ties in with Day of the Dead, and it's kind of like bringing your designs back to life for a day. So that'll be coming up in early November. So if you all follow us on Instagram, that's where we post most of our updates, and we'll have more information on how you can submit your work for that. But other than that, coming up this semester, we also have a Rally Around Design live series. So we have guest speakers that join us. So we just had one last week, actually. And we had Judith Carr, who is the founder of Fig Agency in New York. And they work with big clients like CNN, Zillow, Spotify. And so she kind of talked about what it's like to run a business like that and how she kind of got to where she is. So yeah, we just want to be able to connect students with local professionals and also professionals around the US.
hmm Wow, those are so cool. I'm especially interested with that, the one that's kind of associated with like
Oh
Dia de
yeah, the
los
design
Muertos and things like
graveyard.
that. I think that's so. I mean, it's kind of funny. It's like a perfect way to still make sure that your artwork doesn't go to waste, because I'm sure even though it may not have done as well as you had hoped, it still deserves the recognition because of like the effort and time put in. So I think that's really cool. I really like that. Um, so I guess, how long have you been a member, and in the time that you've been a member, how has the experience been for you?
Okay, I've been a member since last year, actually. I joined in spring of 2019, I believe. So I'm sorry, spring of 2018. So it's actually been great. When I first joined, the organization was a little bit smaller than it is now. So it's been really nice to watch the organization grow, and it's nice to have a leadership position now because I get to kind of help out and kind of see a little bit more of what I wanted to see in the organization. So when it first started off, I really wanted us to work a little bit closer with the El Paso chapter. So that's been really nice because we've gotten to kind of like expand our network and kind of pull our resources together with the El Paso chapter and put on bigger events. So that's been really cool. And above everything else, I think the biggest thing is making friends within my major and within, people that have similar interests. I think it's a really great way to get involved. And, if I ever have questions on an assignment or anything like that, I know that I have people that I can reach out to. And we've grown really close. So that's been really great as well.
Yeah, I bet. I think that's one of the best parts about joining student organizations, and probably one that's more related to a career one, like a career path. It's knowing
Mm-hmm.
that you're around individuals that are essentially going through the same path as you, and in college, and especially right now, given that we're virtual, right? Any kind of connection you can make with someone else feels a little bit better and makes you feel less alone.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's what's been great that we kind of already had formed that connection. So now we just kind of transfer it online. So even though it's not the same, it's nice to know that you do have that community there with you.
hmm So I know you kind of touched on this, mentioning specific events and things you all do, but in your time as a member, what have been your favorite like memories or events that you've done with the organization?
Well, I think one of my favorite memories is last year, we actually had an event to benefiting the victims of the shooting from the Walmart shooting. So we basically got together with the El Paso chapter and we reached out to local artists and students, and we had a lot of people submit their work, whether that be paintings or posters or any designs that they had. And we booked a gallery space and we had a show where we were selling the artwork and we were able to raise funds for the victims, which was really great. It was a really cool way to help the victims in using like our talents and our knowledge and putting it to good use. And it was really nice too because I feel like we got really involved within the El Paso creative community. So it was also a good opportunity to meet other artists and kind of talk with them. So that was one of my favorite events that we've had so far.
Yeah, that sounds great. And then it's also kind of like a networking opportunity, and I think having that larger chapter at like within El Paso helps with that as well.
Definitely.
Um, so I mean, we all know this. Going virtual has been challenging. It's had its own problems as we try to adjust and, make things still as meaningful as possible. So, how has it been for you all to switch to running an organization virtually?
It's definitely been challenging, that's for sure. Just because, well, first of all, just figuring out what platform we wanted to use. So we kind of had to try a few. We were on Microsoft Teams for a little bit and we tried Google Hangouts. So just kind of getting the hang of doing a virtual meeting. And then we definitely have been more active on social media. So it's been a little bit of a shift because we were used to kind of, like you would see people in the hall and you'd be like, oh, like, hopefully we'll see you at this meeting or hopefully, we have this coming up. So it's been different not having that opportunity. But it's been interesting for sure. And I really appreciate all of the team, all of the other board members, because they've been so great about, working together and getting the word out and, attending our events and being consistent with that.
Yeah, I think more and more we're seeing the importance of social media,
Hmm.
especially right now, because it's one of those few things that we have connecting us when we can't all be together in person. But in terms of like your plannings and things like that, what kind of events? I know you touched on the one that's happening in early November, but what other events do you all have planning to happen throughout the next semester?
Okay, well, we also have one. It's actually our next event. So we have a Get Out the Vote virtual exhibition. So that's open also if anyone would like to submit work. So AIJ actually runs the Get Out the Vote campaign every election year. So it's
Hmm.
actually a national campaign. But as a local El Paso and UTEP chapter, we want to go ahead and put together a virtual exhibition. So that'll be taking place, I believe, I need to double check the date, but I believe it's November 15th. And so we're going to go ahead and be accepting posters, and then we'll set up an online exhibition, and we'll kind of have like a reception. It'll be virtual, of course, but we'll select a few artists that kind of talk a little bit more about their pieces and the work and the process that went into making it. And then we are having as I mentioned earlier, the Rally Around Design live series. And so a guest that we're planning to have coming up soon are the owners of Eme Design Studio. So they're a local design studio, and it's run by Joel and Iris, who are a married couple, and they're actually UTEP alumni. And so they've done a lot of design work for local businesses like Boss's Chicken, Hillside Donut and Coffee, Malolam. So they do a lot of really cool work for local companies and local businesses. So it'll be cool. We'll be chatting with them a little bit more about their journey and how they got to where they are now and opening their business and what it's like running it and how they've had to adjust because I know it's been tricky with the pandemic as well.
Hmm.
So those are just a few upcoming events that we have for this semester.
I like how different they all are too. I feel like it's a good mix of different topics, different people, different industries, even too. Um, and I think that's interesting and super cool for students that maybe they aren't necessarily going down the graphic design route, but nonetheless want to learn more and see how that they can utilize that in whatever career they choose to follow.
Yeah, definitely. So a lot of our members are not necessarily graphic design. We have a lot of people in advertising or marketing and things like that. And even if maybe like you're a nursing major or something totally different, not under liberal arts, I think anyone that has an interest in arts or even sometimes business, because we have interviewed a lot of business owners. So it's really cool to get to see like a little bit more about their story. And I think especially people who have graduated from UTEP or who are coming from El Paso, because you kind of get to see that is possible for you, and it kind of opens your mind to the possibilities after graduation, something that you can look forward to doing, or something that's like within your reach.
Hmm. I also think it's helpful um, when you may not know where to start. If someone is doing something that you want to do, just asking like, "Hey, I know you did it this way. Would you think I could do it the same?" And having that guidance makes it all the better and feel less, scary that you're starting something brand new for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the people always they're more than willing to give advice, and they always have words of encouragement for you because they know what it's like to be in your shoes. So they know, all the thoughts that are going through your mind and maybe any doubts. So it's really nice to be able to get that encouragement from them.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, so those opportunities sound great. I hope people who watch this eventually, or the ones that are live with us right now, consider looking into them. Um, but if we do have students who are interested in, learning more or joining you all, what would be the best way to go ahead and start that process?
You guys can DM us on Instagram or you can send us an email, aijutep@gmail.com. Or even on Mindtracker, you can look us up, AIJ UTEP Student Group, send us a message there. And we can go ahead and add you to our email list and follow us for sure. And then you'll be up to date with any events or any updates that we have for you.
Hmm. Um, and then once they are members, what are some typical requirements you all hold, for students wanting to, remain active as a member
As a
of your
member,
RSO?
okay, so there is a membership fee. So unfortunately, we don't really have control over that because we never really see the funds. It's a fee to join the organization at the national level. So it's a fee of $50 for a yearly membership. So once you pay that, you'll have access to resources at the national level for a year. So it's pretty cool because they offer a lot of really cool webinars and you get access to events put on by other chapters all over the nation. And you also get discounted fees. Like, for example, there's a national design conference taking place in November. So you get a discounted ticket if you're a member and also if you're a student. So it's like double the discount. So that's pretty much the main requirement that we have to become a member is to pay your fees. And I think ultimately you get what you put out of it. So we don't necessarily have a requirement where it's like you have to attend a certain number of events. Just because the semester has been a little bit, I think we're still trying to get the hang of everything. But I do believe you get what you put into it. So I think the more you participate, the more you'll get out of the organization for sure.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's a good thing to keep in mind in everything that you do, not necessarily at a student organization level, but in any kind of thing that you choose to participate in. Obviously, the more you choose to give, the better energy you have about it. The more I feel like the more fun it is too, the more willing you are to open yourself up and have those fun experiences with everyone.
Yeah, exactly, exactly, and that's really how you build your connections. Because personally, I've also had the opportunity to get closer with my professors within my department, and that's just because I have been very active in the organization. So that's really when you're able to really network and make those connections that will really be useful in the future.
Hmm. Yeah, that's great. So I mean, I feel like we've kind of already touched on this, but um, in terms of having like opportunities for events for students to join, what are the opportunities available for socializing, some kind of like academic, like promoting academic success, or even having like professional development? So, would you say you all have like specific opportunities for each of those?
Yeah, I think so. So we've been having meetings about once a month. So those meetings are just usually, of course, for updates on events. But most of the board members are upperclassmen, so we like to open it up and have any new members ask any questions, whether it be about the graphic design department or even maybe class recommendations. So we try to help out, and we also have a group on GroupMe, like a group message. So I know that sometimes our members will post something they're working on and they'll be like, hey, like, what do you guys think? Can I have your feedback on that? So I think that's really important to kind of have that, like kind of have a second set of eyes look at your work too before you present it in class, or even if it's just a personal project. We do have that available as well. And then we do have workshops that we have every semester. So we had one last semester on printing, and we're planning to have one this semester on user experience design. So we'll have a guest speaker and they'll talk a little bit more about what UI UX design is and what future career opportunities are available within that field. Because graphic design is so broad, there's so many different routes that you can take. So I think it's nice to kind of get a little bit of a sense of what's available out there and kind of, oh, that sounds interesting to me. Maybe I want to do that, or maybe that's not for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I think those are a few events that will help with professional development.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So I know we probably had some more people join now than what we had in the beginning. So hi for those of you that have joined us in between our little chat here. But feel free to send us your questions using the comment feature down below, or you can also send in questions using the question feature down below as well. And it's just the little box with the question mark inside, and then we can answer those for you. Um, Man, I feel like we've already given out so much information. I can't even think of another question that more students may be asking or be wanting to know. Um,
Yeah, let me see. Maybe some other, I guess, other info. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I think one of the biggest benefits of joining is the fact that you are part of a national organization. So there's just really so many resources all the time. So since there are so many chapters, especially now that everything's virtual, almost every day there's like a webinar or some kind of speaker series going on, whether that be from AIJ Los Angeles or Connecticut or Detroit, and there's always like guest speakers. And then this month, actually, they're having like an AIGA Unidos initiative. So different chapters like AIGA Houston, AIGA San Antonio, Miami, they put together a whole list of guest speakers, and they're all Hispanic, and they're talking about different topics as well. So what they do, or if they're owners of a design firm or things like that. So there's always like something going on where you can pull, and there's like always those resources available. So I think that's been one of the biggest benefits of joining AIGA.
Hmm. That's great. And I think that's super good for students to keep in mind, um, that there's a lot of opportunities for networking and, connecting with people, especially right now that
Mm-hmm.
we're virtual. It's almost working to our benefit that because everyone is now virtual, we now have the ability to connect with people that may not be in El Paso. And, it allows for us to, finally get to speak with these people that maybe if we weren't working exclusively from home, we wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's been one of the highlights for sure because I think it's made communication so much easier. Like we had talked about having certain speakers in the past, and I think that would have maybe involved like having to find a way to get them here. So now it's cool to just be able to ask them to log on and join us, and I think it just makes it's like really bridging the gap in terms of like physical distance for sure.
Hmm. Yeah. So, yeah, I feel like if anyone is interested in joining, I would definitely suggest following their Instagram. I'm gonna go ahead and put it
Okay,
in
thank you.
the
Yeah,
chat.
go ahead and follow us. You can DM us any other questions you might have or anything like that. We're pretty good about responding quickly. So, yeah, don't be afraid to DM us or you can email us aijutep@gmail.com.
Perfect. And yeah, I don't know if you have any more last minute thoughts or comments you want to share with anyone, even someone who may go back and watch this at a later date.
Um, I guess any last comments, I would just say, yeah, don't be afraid to reach out. Even if you're not sure that you can maybe commit to a membership this year or anything like that, we can always help you and find a way to cover the membership costs, or we can always work with you. So don't be afraid to reach out if you have any questions about anything.
That's great. Um, yeah, just a quick little plug for this program once again. This is a part of our Mountainside chat series where we went live this past semester and throughout the summer with different departments at UTEP, and now we started opening it up to different student organizations, just to kind of help everyone get the word out there about what all the amazing things that everyone is up to right now. Um, and yeah, so today we went live with a AIGA at UTEP. Um, and yeah, it's been great chatting with you.
Likewise, thank you so much for this opportunity, and I'm looking forward to the next Mountainside chats.
Yes, thank you. So I'll wait just a couple more seconds. We'll see if someone else has thought of some questions. Maybe you just joined us. Um, but yeah, I think that's that for today's Mountainside chat.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
We'll see you. Bye.
Bye.